But welcome, everyone. What a great evening to be spending together, and we are so grateful, so very grateful that you are sharing this part of your Sunday evening with us. I want to thank Steve Willis, who will be offering our reflection. This is one of our more popular services. And each year, when we are in the planning stages for our next service year, time and time again, Steve's service is requested. So Steve, thank you so much for your willingness to share this with us. You're super. We appreciate it. I also want to thank Catherine Wakefield, who is our Zoom director. We are working hard to figure out how to keep this going and maintain it. And as more and more people come, it's a little more difficult to try to appease and please both those here and our Zoomers. But please know that we are doing our very, very best to do all of that. Thank you also for voting for Best of the Best. Aren't we glad it's finally over? I know I am. Every morning getting up and sending that reminder. So as we begin our time together this evening, I would invite us to spend just a few minutes in quiet, eyes closed perhaps, just soaking in the energy of silence. Now, will you join your voices with mine as we share together in the call to prayer? It's in your service sheet. Together, we bid you welcome, who come with weary spirit seeking rest, who come with troubles that are too much with you, who come hurt and afraid. We bid you welcome, who come with hope in your heart, who come with anticipation in your step, who come proud and joyous. We bid you welcome, who are seekers to a new faith, who come to probe and explore, who come to learn. We bid you welcome, who enter this place as a homecoming, who have found here room for your spirit, who find in this people a family. Whoever you are, whatever you are, wherever you are on your journey, we bid you welcome. This time, I would invite everyone to come and light one of the candles that is on the altar. Kathy will be playing background music, and we will light the community candle now. And then from there, if you would just light your candle, that will be wonderful. Our altar is lighted, and now we share our voices in a responsive prayer, blessing our time together. Creator God, we always ask before we thank, for we are asking creatures. We ask for love, and thank you for the love you have inspired in us. We ask to be closer to you, and thank you for our capacity to pray. We ask for your understanding, and thank you for bringing us the light of your presence. We ask for happiness, and thank you for the joy of life. We ask for strength, and thank you for the courage you have given us to hope. We ask for your presence, and thank you for living in our hearts. We ask, and we have already received. Blessed be your name, O God, our Creator. Amen. our joys and our concerns. Each of you should have found 3 small pebbles on the seat of your chair. We invite everyone at this time to bring those 3 pebbles to the altar, drop them one by one into the vases of water, offering your prayer of joy or your prayer of concern. And as the bubbles float up to the surface, these are our prayers being offered and being shared. And those of us who are seated, as others drop their pebbles, we are prayerfully present to them. I would ask that one of your pebbles this evening perhaps has Pat Hasty's name on it. Pat is one of our STAR board members, a member of Central, and as many of you know, has gone through her 4th open heart surgery this week. It has been up and down, touch and go, but yesterday, as I wrote based on her daughter's update to me, she had her glasses on, she wanted her phone, and she had HD TV on all day long. So I think there is healing going on, but still, we need to share our prayers surrounding her with energy, as well as family and friends that you may know, but also our joys. This is a beautiful time of the year. So I would invite you to come forward and drop your pebbles into the vase. Will you join me in the words of Julian of Norwich? All shall be well. All shall be well. All manner of things shall be well. All shall be well. We are grateful to each and every one of you for what you share with Star. It has been ever so evident this past year, especially. It is your time, your talent, and your treasure that enables us to continue to do the good work of Star. This evening, a portion of the offering that is collected has been designated for Piedmont Care of Spartanburg. And this is to honor Steve for sharing his creative energy with us. Our offering star is over by the door. If you would like to leave a contribution, we are very, very grateful for your generosity. Would you again join me in the words of a Taizé chant? Ubi caritas, et amor, ubi caritas, Deus ibi est. Live in charity and steadfast love. Live in charity, God will dwell with you. I would invite everyone to please stand as we honor the directions.
We invoke the Great One, the one who created heaven and earth, the great mystery, Wonkin Tonka, to celebrate the joining of pleasure and pain, the naming and the unnaming, the cosmos and the void. The blend of these opposites cooked over the sacred fire gives birth to something where previously there was nothing. Joining and experiencing these creates a mix that gives full meaning of the image of the Creator. The Holy One tells us that when we experience creation and darkness, we are combining the necessary ingredients to the birthing of creativity, the via creativa. The final result is that we give birth to art. We see the sacred of all things, and we all become artists. We see the abundance of harmony and cosmic wholeness in our dear mother, the earth. We are a book about God. In everything we see, a glittering, glimmering, glistening mirror of God. We burn sweetgrass and sage to see the smoke rise in the air, to see the many shapes of the Great One. We have a new imagination and can create the image of God in everything we see. The buffalo drum beats the heartbeat of the sacred in all things. The flute's notes fill the air with musical artistry. We are venturing down the via creativity, the road of creativity. We are befriending creativity. Turning to the east.
The grandmothers and the grandfathers of the East tell us every artist may not be a special kind of person, but every person is a special kind of artist. Altogether, if we do express our own original ideas, and if we do listen to our own being or self, we will be faithful to our finding wholeness on the via creativa. This is how we befriend creativity.
A quarter turn to the right, facing to the south. The The grandmothers and the grandfathers of the South tell us that art is the basic form of meditation. In the creation spirituality tradition, creativity is where divinity and humanity meet. Altogether, if we do express our own original ideas, and if we do listen to our own being or self, we will be faithful to our finding wholeness on the via creativa. This is how we befriend creativity. Or turn to the right, facing to the west.
The grandmothers and the grandfathers of the West want us to understand the powers we humans have to give birth to our images are, in fact, the very divine power of the universe itself, and more than that, of divinity itself. Altogether, if we do express our own original ideas, and if we do listen to our own being or self, we will be faithful to our finding wholeness on the via creativa. This is how we befriend creativity. Quarter turn to the right, facing north.
The grandmothers and the grandfathers of the North want us to know that the Holy One trusts us with the divine power of imagination. We have been entrusted by God to imagine and to give birth to art. Imperfection is no excuse. Altogether, if we do express our own original ideas, and if we do listen to our own being or self, we will be faithful to our finding wholeness on the via creativa. This is how we befriend creativity. Facing to the center.
The grandmothers and the grandfathers of the center space want us to look around this circle and see the artist in every face and know that our collective imagination is co-creating with the universe. Altogether, if we do express our own original ideas, and if we do listen to our own being or self, we will be faithful to our finding wholeness on the via creativa. This is how we befriend creativity. Namaste.
you are invited to join in the way of tea, gathering heart and mind and spirit for a meditation on sweet balance. If you would find a comfortable position in your chair, perhaps with your feet on the floor, spaced slightly apart, your back straight, resting on and supported by the back of your chair, your hands resting just above your knees or together in your lap, one hand resting in the other with palms open. Then close your eyes. Spend a moment resting in this position, acquainting yourself with the rhythm of your breathing and the vibration of soft background music. Now, if you would, imagine that the basket of sweets is being readied for serving. First, shared between the servers. Then one server begins to move around the circle, stopping in front of each person, inviting each to reach into the basket and select one of the sweets. The server now stands in front of you, holds the basket for you to select your sweet. As you peer inside the basket, you wonder, what will the sweet be this evening? Imagine what it might be. Having made your selection, the server moves on, and for a moment, you are left holding the sweet between your fingers. Imagine how it feels. The sturdy cakiness of a cookie, the soft cushiness of a piece of candy. Then you either take a bite or, if tiny enough, pop it into your mouth. The result is an unleashing of a subtle sweetness or an explosion of delightful decadence, made even more intense as you continue to chew, each bite being more pleasurable than the last. Finally, you swallow. You can feel the sugary concoction slip down your throat and begin to wind its way downward, a slow movement of sweetening, filling nooks and crannies of your body with the sensuality of goodness, leaving you aglow in the honeydew of gentleness and kindness. This evening, the basket of sweets will be presented to you by the server. Select a little bundle, unwrap, taste, and enjoy the goodness of your sweet. Then settle in this space and spend a bit more time feeling the sweetness trickle into the center of your being, savoring in your heart and mind and spirit, and reflecting on what such goodness means for you.
You are now invited to gather heart and mind and spirit for a meditation on bitter balance. Remaining in a comfortable position in your chair with your eyes closed. Again, spend a moment acquainting yourself with the rhythm of your breathing and the vibration of soft background music. Now, if you would, imagine the tea being prepared and ready for serving. First, shared between the servers. Then both begin to move around the circle, stopping in front of each person, offering the tray filled with small glass tea vessels, inviting each to select one. Having made your selection, the server moves on, and for a moment, you're holding the tiny chalice before lifting it to your lips. As you move it toward your lips, you get a whiff of the musky fragrance of the freshly brewed green tea. Imagine that aroma as you breathe in and exhale slowly. Your thoughts shift to wonderings about the brew. How strong is the brew? Is it too warm? Too cool? Then you take a small sip. It's not too warm or too cool, but rigorously strong. Imagine that as the liquid rests on your tongue, it is almost as though every taste bud has become hyper alert in violent protest of the pungent flavor, seemingly more intense since the tastiness of the sweet lingers. The bitterness begins its invasion, determined to overcome any of the residual lusciousness. And then you swallow. But the taste has lost much of its harshness. Instead, you experience a nectar flavored with the essence of both sweet and bitter. These two ingredients complementing each other when contemplated together represent a symbol of harmony and balance. This evening, the tea tray will be presented to you by the server. Select one of the small cups, and while sipping the brew, taste the bitterness mingled with the lingering sweet. Then settle in this space and spend a little more time letting harmony and balance wind their way to the center of your being. Letting your heart and mind and spirit be refreshed and letting go of one versus the other. Reflecting on the peacefulness of your restful soul. The server will again stand in front of you. You place your teacup on the tray. It is empty, but you are not.
Joan, I'm going to invite you to put out the community candle for us. And together we will join our voices in our closing prayer. And though we extinguish our community candle, we do not extinguish the warmth of community, the spirit of gratitude, the fire of commitment, and our shared compassion during this time together as community. The light of hope, hope for change that brings new blessings into our lives and the lives of those around us, remains and will continue to burn brightly. We carry the light of hope in our hearts until we meet again. Amen. Please, if you would stand, and we will close with our sending out. We're still not quite there to sing, but we're getting there. Joining our voices. Go now in peace. Go now in peace. May the love of God surround us everywhere, everywhere we may go until we meet again. I hope that you will join us on June the 13th May has 5 Sundays, so we're going to have a little break in here. So instead of one Sunday, we have 2 Sundays between, but I guarantee you, it is going to be a smashing service, celebrating solstice and being Celtic in our energy and our very being. Thank you for being here this evening. Amen. Be sure to step up and look at